Godzilla. This king of monsters is arguably the most famous beast in movie history. Conceived as a cinematic response to Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japanese audiences flocked to theaters, mesmerized by scenes of citywide devastation and by the furious kaiju powered by atomic exposure. By the 1960s, even though Godzilla was still the box office king, more family-friendly monsters became hugely popular with children and young couples, who are now a huge box office demographic. So in 1967, Toho Studios decided to take the Godzilla character in a new direction. With each movie, they had made him bigger and stronger. The time had finally come to make Godzilla cuter. The first foray into cuteness was Minilla, Godzilla's cuddly but strange-looking adopted son, who behaved very much like a human child, making him a stark contrast to the other kaiju who were reptilian or insectoid. The movie also featured a more paternal side of the usually grumpy Godzilla, showing playfulness, affection, and even tenderness for the first time. The public reaction was mixed. Some appreciated the growth of Godzilla's character, while others criticized it as too much of a deviation. They had come in to watch a battle between mythic beasts and found themselves watching a family drama instead. Regardless, Toho Studios pushed on with the character, and after a brief appearance in Destroy All Monsters, Minilla was responsible for one of the strangest monster movies ever made. All Monsters Attack, despite its name, focuses not on monsters, but on a young boy being bullied at school. In his dreams, he visits Minilla, who is also being bullied by a fellow kaiju. After becoming friends, the young boy helps Minilla finally stand up to his bully and does the same in real life. The entire movie plays like a strange anti-bullying video, with Godzilla himself only appearing sporadically, mostly via stock footage from previous films. Today, it's considered by fans to be one of the worst Godzilla films ever made, a miscalculation that took the franchise in the wrong direction. But as time went on, children were no longer an audience that could be ignored. Toy deals, cartoon deals, and merchandising deals were too lucrative to pass off, and the quest for Cutezilla began again. In 1993, the success of Jurassic Park sweetened the deal for monster movies. Godzilla was turned into a full-blown media figure to promote the franchise, with TV appearances, theme park tie-ups, and even songs. A new morning adventure show on TV called Adventure Godzilla meant that Toho Studios could now push Godzilla to a young audience. Director Takao Okawara hated Minilla and wanted to design a separate creature that looked cute but more like Godzilla himself. Thus, baby Godzilla was born, this time rescued by humans until Papa Godzilla beats up the villain and takes his baby home. The movie wasn't exactly a smash hit, but it was successful enough to continue baby's presence. They changed his appearance to a more child-friendly form in a blatant attempt to appease kids. This version, called Little Godzilla, was smoother, rounder, and looked more like the Teletubbies than a kaiju. But this time it worked in the movie's favor. Little Godzilla's derpiness enhanced the tension of him being attacked and kidnapped, as Godzilla races against time to save him. The movie did very well at the box office. Next up, Godzilla vs. Destroyer was the death of Godzilla and was the last Japanese Godzilla film before the franchise was handed over to Hollywood. Godzilla faces one of his strongest foes ever, the Destroyer, who actually kills Junior and almost kills Godzilla himself, until the rage-filled dad, anguished over his son's death, takes out the Destroyer and dies himself, releasing the atomic radiation in his body, which resurrects his son, who rises up as the new Godzilla. That's right, this guy is Godzilla now. Despite the disappointment of the following American version, the franchise had become fully rooted in global pop culture, even in children's programming. A web series called Godziban is active to this day, featuring Minilla and Junior as the bumbling younger brothers of Godzilla. Today, Godzilla has a major revival thanks to the Monsterverse films. In addition, Cutezilla reigns supreme. The franchise makes a fortune out of products for kids, with toys and cartoons leading the way. So no matter how ferocious or badass Godzilla may look today, even he, like all of us, must be cringing at his childhood antics.